Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and this is another video where it might get a little crowded on the desk in front of me. This is my entry into Charles Watts or Stu Two Locks. It's 400 subscriber giveaway. Wow, I don't think you've only been doing this like 5 weeks. That's shot up, man. So congratulations. There's going to be many more of that, I'm certain. The purpose of this competition, if you like, is to focus on the stuff in Locksport other than picking a lock. So this is a very broad hobby with many different elements to it. And my other interests in the world of Locksport are all to do with engineering. There are different elements of engineering, but engineering nonetheless. I like solving problems, and making tools to solve problems is a particular interest to me. So where shall I start? Let's start with Leverlocks. And I won't show you all the Leverlocks stuff, but one of the reasons I like Leverlocks is because nearly every Leverlock is unique and it needs a tool to open it. So I've made a series of tools. I won't show you all the picking wires. There are literally 30 or 40 of them. This is like a padlock tensioner made out of an old cotter pin, part of a lock, and a grub screw, but that tensions the bolt. You've got, this is again for mortise locks, curtained mortise locks. This is a cut down key, a couple of bolts, and this is the cylinder to a thumb turn lock, but it comes out and it looks really rather good. And this is a mortise lock, lever lock turner that you put in from the exterior of the door, and if someone's left a key in the lock, this will go into the other side of the curtain, and you can use the key, this, to turn the lock with the key in it. And this is a bit different because if the key is made of steel and you dislodge the key by putting this in the curtain, and I have done that, there's a magnet in the end here, and that will pull the key back into the lock and reseat it. There's actually a video on that I did. It's quite a cool thing. So anyway, yeah, little tools to solve little problems. Going on from there, I'm a big fan of the Covert Companion. I just like the whole idea of having most of my tools in my pocket to do most kinds of locks. But actually, there are a couple of tools missing from this. Again, in the UK, we have lots of lever locks, but this doesn't have any means of picking lever locks. So I thought I'd solve that problem. So I've got an overlifter and a tensioner. So now you can open straightforward lever locks with the Covert Companion. But it's also got a few other things in here. We have thumb turn Euro style locks. So this is a thumb turn Euro style bypass driver. This is made out of 0.8 of a millimeter stainless spring wire. Let's see what else. Oh yes, got a video coming up on this in the not too distant future. I made a covert katana, and I use that to rock locks open. So I like solving problems, and simple tools to solve problems is a great joy. So that's a good platform for sort of my inventions. What else do we got? All right, so a while back, Terry B ran a competition for pick making, and I thought, right, I had never planned to make a pick ever. And so I had a go. I made these two, first of all, the katana ones, deep and shallow. And I got really bitten by the bug. I really did. And I really found that pick making was a real joy. And I've just continued to expand and explore. The most recent one is the saw rake. And there's a making of video coming up reasonably soon. And I've always made stuff out of metal and wood in my other hobbies, so it was nice to sort of marry them up here and make stuff of a lock sporting. So yeah, we've got problem solving, pick making, and then there are the tools to aid picking. So something I made relatively recently, which is a cutaway. Don't know if I can zoom in on that, can I? Yeah, it's a cutaway of an Abloy disc detainer. I am in the process of teaching myself disc detainers, and I've got a mill, and so this was a relatively easy machining job to cut this away and still retain its full functionality. So yeah, that's a fun part. And my mill isn't particularly accurate, so I'm not going to be machining pin tumblers anytime soon, but it's good enough for stuff like this. And then the other bit is refurbishing locks. I get a real kick out of taking something which is completely destroyed and rebuilding it. So one of the first locks I did was this ASEC 5-lever. It's like a Chubb battleship. This thing was rusted solid, absolutely filthy and caked in rust. So I mounted up a really soft brass wire brush on my bench grinder, and that has actually become a very favoured tool for turning out clean locks. So you give them a good soak first of all, and then you can use that to sort of take the rubbish off the surface, but it doesn't mark the surfaces. And just to give you an idea of how well that works, I'll take this cover off. That in there was completely solid garbage, and now it works beautifully. It's all back to full working order. It's nice to be able to see inside a lock and see the operation, and because there's brass in here, it cleans up a treat. So that's one piece of refurbishing. Got another bit here. This is a bit special. This is a Joseph Bramah. It's an NS27M mortise lock. They're very rare in the Locksport community simply because of how expensive they are. Even second-hand ones go for hundreds. This one was one of those things where someone advertised it on eBay. It was like $20, £15, and no one else bid on it. I mean, it was filthy and it was covered in muck, but I recognized the keyway and I thought, oh, it's got to be worth a punt. So I put some money down and, I won it. And I'm delighted because when I take this thing apart, got the classic keyway under here. This one's got a little actuator, so the best thing to do is show you this. It's quite a bit fiddly to get it off, but I'll show you the mechanism. So once I've got this refurbed, I'm going to pick this. So this is the actual mechanism inside. That's the sliding bolt, and as that slides back, it releases the micro switch, which obviously sends an alert alarm somewhere. But the actual lock itself, that's it. That's the mechanism. That's all it is. And it comes apart really easily. So you can see what's going on inside. They look simple, but they are not the easiest to pick in the world, as I'm discovering. But this was all completely filthy again. And it was inside this lock was just, horrible. But it's back to good order now. It doesn't have a key. That's one of the things I'm going to do for this lock, is to actually make a key for it once I've mapped all the sliders. So yeah, I like to put things back into service. And key making is another area which I've just recently started to get into. Taught myself to silver solder, which isn't that hard. And it's turning out that is a super technique, and it's very strong for making things, and not just keys, but also making picking tools, especially in the lever lock world. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I like the engineering, but different elements of the engineering aspects to Locksport. There's a lot here you can just literally bury yourself in. It's very absorbing, and yeah. So that's it. That's my interests outside of actual picking itself. I hope you found that interesting. And once again, Charles or Stu, congratulations on the 400. Enjoy your picking. Cheers.